Here we have the resting place of Bettie Mae Page, born in 1923 in Kingsport, Tennessee. Grew up in Nashville. Her and her sister spent about a year in an orphanage. After graduating Hume Fogg High School, which weirdly enough I used to sleep on the stairs and beg there, she went on to Peabody College and got a Bachelor's of Arts degree. She went out to Southern California, then moved to New York, where she became a secretary, got essayed, moved back down to Nashville for a few weeks, came right back to New York, and as she was walking around Coney Island, she ran into Jerry Tibbs, who was an NYPD officer, and he was the one that gave her the idea to cut her now infamous bangs as a way to shape her face. And she started doing photographs for photography clubs, which was a way to kind of circumvent the laws about nude photography back then. That's where after a while she met Irving Klaw, who was really into specialty films and got into a lot of trouble. Now, 1954, on one of her visits to Key West, she met Bunny Yeager, who was probably her most famous photographer, and Bunny was the one who sent her photographs to Hugh Hefner, where Betty became one of the earliest centerfolds ever in Playboy's history. Now, Irving Klaw got into a lot of trouble, and around 1957, 58 in Key West, she became a born-again evangelical Christian. She went to Portland Bible School and tried to become a missionary in Africa, but they wouldn't allow her because she had been divorced. So she moves back, she gets married, moves to Florida, gets divorced, married again, gets divorced. It's something to note that right after high school, she married her high school sweetheart right before he was shipped off to World War II, and during that time she would move from San Francisco to LA to Nashville, back and forth again. Now, in 1978, during her last marriage, she had a complete nervous breakdown where she said this painting, this biblical painting, she saw demons coming out of it and threatened her landlord and some children with a knife. She got 20 months into the state hospital, I think it was in San Bernardino, and in 1982 she really lost it. In her first day, they diagnosed her with acute schizophrenia. In 1982 she stabbed her landlord 23 times and became a ward of the state for 8 years, released in, I think, 1992. She stayed in a halfway house for mental patients the rest of her life. During the last 4 years of her life, Hugh Hefner found out and got his lawyer to get money from all the thousands of people that were using her image and not paying her. So she had all the money in the world at the end, but she never used it. She took the bus everywhere, ate rice, and she died in 2008 alone. Now, I didn't name myself Little Betty. People started calling me Little Betty, lots of people, because I have original print Bettie Page pictures in my home. And understanding I was trans, while looking at a picture of Bettie Page one night, is what finally broke me and made me realize that I didn't want Bettie Page as much as I wanted to be her. And that's how everything broke apart for me. And this means everything to me, being here at her grave. What really makes me feel so close to her is, all my life I've been called a beautiful man. I'm not looking so great right now, but I've heard it my whole life, but could never understand it. And now I know why. I spent most of my life lonely, alone, in psych wards for different reasons. For addiction, spent 10 years on the streets. We have a lot in common. There's a lot of people nowadays, girls that decide they want to be pin-up girls, so they copy her style exactly because they know people will pay to see it. Me, I'm unique. people started calling me Little Betty, I'm going to keep it. And yes, I like my bangs, but beyond that, I'm original. Because if you're trying to be just like Bettie Page, well, you've already failed. Because the thing that's so spectacular about her, she was an original.